Welcome back to the Stars and Scrums. After we met some of the women stars in this of the seven series, here are the men's with me today: Jakob Dipper, Vasco Leite, and Nick Jurisic from the men's Rugby Europe Championship Seven series. After Makarska, now we're going to head to Hamburg, well, which is a home game or home games for Jakob. And I'll start with you. So Hamburg, it's going to be massive. I know Germany have climbed up the ladder and became one of the top teams in the men's championship seven series. So can you care to explain to us how your team became such a fierce side in the competition?
I think mainly because of our new coach Pablo Feo. I mean, he did quite a lot with us during this season. He's only this season like one of our main coaches as well with Clemmy. And last year he was there to help us. And in Hamburg he was the main coach with Clemmy. And yeah, because Antonio wasn't there anymore, and he formed us really into he shaped us into a team. Like we had really long preseason. I think it was nearly half a year long, like from
Mhm.
August to January. And yeah, he wanted us to play at a much higher speed to become like a next level team to compete, and not only in the European Championship but only in the Challenger Series, and to compete against like World Series teams, and hopefully to do that jump next season. Unfortunately, didn't work out this season, but it is what it is. Um, yeah, and yeah, he was probably like the main factor that shaped us into what we are now.
Yeah, you played the challenge series in Makarska. You finished in third place. Sorry. So i Germany is growing. So can you care to explain us how your team finished in third, and if you have a real chance to touch the title this year?
I mean, I think it's still possible. I mean, we have to be in the final in order to become European champions, but also have to see what France and Ireland are doing, and we can't control that at least, or except if we play against them. But yeah, yeah, rugby is growing, yeah, but I mean, we have a saying that we want to finish what we started. We finished third in Makarska, and we want at least to finish third in Hamburg now, and hopefully become that European champion again. I think like the boys became were I don't know in 2019 or something European champions, but that was before my time, and we just have to concentrate on us and see how it goes.
And we'll see how it goes. I'll come back to you to talk a bit about the Hamburg. Now going to Nick. Nick, Croatia had the chance to host one of the legs of the seventh Rugby Europe Championship. How was it to have such a tournament at your own backyard?
Yes, it was quite unbelievable to host the Championship of European Sevens in Croatia in Makarska. Mm, It was like a small dream for us because we got promoted last year from trophy to championship, and don't know what to say. I believe the boys will say that organization was very, very on a high level, and accept our weak result. We are very realistic, and we don't expect too much from Hamburg. Same from Makarska. We just want to retain in our position in championship for next year to avoid relegation, and we will give our best for sure.
You did really well. The fans were incredible the whole weekend. But there's something there in your team. Can you explain to us what's the mindset? What is the goal? How do you work on that environment to the public?
Yes, rugby in Croatia is such a minor sport, really, really minor sport. So at the moment, we have to give some extra effort if we want to make a step up in the championship level. There is a huge, huge, huge difference between trophy and championship level of rugby. And as we are 100% amateurs, we train before and after our work every day or universities. By the way, I'm the oldest one, so I'm talking about the work, not the university anymore, and family obligations with kids. So something that strives us to the bigger goals is our unity, and we play a long time together, and we have several younger players, and that's it. We're just a good bunch of guys, rugby players that we play rugby in Croatia. Nobody knows about rugby, but after this huge event in Makarska, everyone's talking about it, the newspapers and media and everything. So it's really big step up for Croatian rugby.
Last year when you got promoted, was how big was it when in the news, in with the fans, with the rugby community in Croatia, that promotion to the seventh championship series?
Uh, as I said, as rugby is a minor sport, people are not aware how big result for us it is. As we only have 4 clubs in a Premier Division, it's a huge result for us, and people don't understand that we play with Portugal and Germany and Ireland, France, and all 6 nations, other countries who are Olympic teams, and Germany's has a big dream to go to Olympics play by playing World Challenger. So they are not aware how big it is at the moment for us. So um, we are just trying, as this was first time ever that we had a truly preparation for the last 6 months with a fitness coach and doing some training camps over the weekends, and we just want to carry on with it for the next generation. I'm talking uh, in my personality. So I just want to have another 2 wins in Hamburg and stay in this division as it possible.
Good to know. I'll come back to you to ask some 2 other questions. Vasco, Nick was saying the new generations. You're part one of the new generation Portuguese rugby, mainly in the 7th squad, but also in the 15. So how how big is for you to play in the Portuguese 7th national team? Did you ever thought that you wanted to be in the same team that Pedro Leal, Adélio Esteves, Gonçalo Foro, and other guys played in it?
Yes, of course, it's a dream since I was a kid of playing by national team. Always, when I was a kid, I was watching TV, saw Pedro, that now it's my coach, and also players like Fabio and Duarte Moreira. Now I play with them, and it's a huge dream. And yes, that's it.
Vasco, the Portuguese team finished in 5th, so you're still on track to finish in the podium. Do you think the Lobos can still dream with the podium in this 7th championship series?
Yeah, now with the last tournament, our hope is to get better uh, place in the table. So we are aiming to the top 4 and also to qualify for the Challenger Series. That it's a very important thing for us to get there, to growth and get more game time for us to grow as a team, because we have a lot of young players that like me and other ones that need a lot more of game time to improve, and we think that Challenger Series are essential for that.
Just one last question before going back to Jakob. Um, do you think the Rugby Europe Championship 7 series is vital for the future of European sevens?
Of course, without these tournaments, it isn't possible for all these teams to play, and you can train a lot, but it's in on tournaments like that you gain more experience and how you improve. Not and with that all these teams can improve.
Okay, that's very good to know. Jakob, you said you are also from a new generation. You are not from the team that in 2019 did so well, but you are now in this one. You are in a lot of the World Series Twitter videos with your pace and unreal speed. So, how big is for the new generation to have this type of competition moving forward and to believe that you can punch holes and get back and get to the World Series for the first time?
I think for like new generations in or the new generation in German rugby, it's quite vital to get into the Challenger Series as well, to play in the European Championship, but the Challenger as well, because you have like more tournaments than in the Euros, like over the course of a few months, and you have the chance to qualify for the World Series. So you play against like top teams, high-level teams like Canada and Samoa, who have been like core teams of the World Series for quite some time now, and that's like the games we want to play, who have really like high experience. And I think that's vital for developing as a player. And yeah, hopefully by being the top 3 in the European Championship again, or maybe even become European champions, we try to get new players, not new players, but also like kids to go into like the local rugby clubs and start playing, because they see us on TV or even live. We had like a tournament in Munich, and there were quite a lot of young kids there. So that is our goal, to aspire or inspire new generations, because rugby is still in Germany like a really minor sport. We have like the biggest sport is obviously football, but it takes away like a lot of kids and athletes. So yeah, we just try to, by achievements as like in the Challenger, to inspire new players or kids. Yeah.
About inspiring new kids and new players, having a sevens tournament like this one in Hamburg for for second year straight, how important it is? Does it make a big noise in the city, in the community? What's your opinion about it?
About the city, I don't know, because I'm not from Hamburg. It's so far up north. Like I only been there last year once, but I think for the German rugby community, it's really nice, because German rugby isn't that big, and like in Munich or last year in Hamburg, like a lot of people came to Hamburg that you actually knew from like all across of Germany, and so it's like a nice get together as a fan, and yeah, it's huge. It's always like different playing at home. Last year was my first year playing at home, and it's just different, like the people, the support, and like the mindset, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it wasn't really last year. The noise that the German fans did while you were playing was incredible. I think the last game was you against Portugal, if I'm not wrong, in the fifth, sixth place, which was a great game. But going back to Nick, now you're going to Hamburg. I know things are not easy. You won against Ukraine on the last game in Makarska, so there's still hope of you staying in the championship series. So to that happen, what do you need to do as a team?
First of all, we have to win the ball at the restarts. I think the biggest, the biggest difference between trophy and the championship is the restarts and the rucking. So at the moment, we have to get the better percentage of one ball from the restarts, and we just have to play our game. We are a very physical team, so we don't have some pace as Jakob has in German team, or maybe Portuguese, but we are very, very, very big players for the sevens team, and we somehow have to use it. We had our chance, honestly, against Georgia in Makarska, which if we have won, maybe we could go to top 8 and we would then postpone the relegation. But hey, that's sevens. We will try to figure out somehow to get another one win in maybe first or second day to get the top 8, and that's it. Things will be easier then.
How big was for you to win that game against Ukraine in the last day? Because it's when everything seemed dire, Croatia pulled a great win, and it showed such a vibrant team and physical, how you say, because you have big players. But how important was for your side?
Oh, I mean, the spirit of rugby is to never give up, isn't it? So even though we got smashed by German team the previous day, it was very frustrating for us because they taught us a very good lesson. So well done, German boys. But hey, when you get trashed, the best thing for you is to pick up the things that you can pick it up for the next game straight away. And we just wanted to finish the tournament with one win in front of our crowd. And unfortunately, it was Ukrainian boys, but at least we weren't the last one. 11th place sounds great for us at that moment.
And let's see if we can bounce back now in Hamburg. Vasco, you are in the same pool as Croatia, so you're going to be rivals in one of the games, but you have also Belgium and Ireland. So what are the expectations? It's a difficult pool, but if you win again, but if you get 2 wins, you're going to play for the top. So care to explain how is the Portuguese preparing for that 3 matches in the pool stage?
It is a tough group, and we are preparing for now. We are focusing on the first game against Belgium. That's the first one, and that's for now the most important. We are looking at that, and then after that we'll look at the game against Croatia, and then against Ireland, and so on and so on.
What do you think Portuguese team improved in the last 2 years as a 7th team?
As Nick was saying, we had increasing the improve of the kickoffs, and we trained a lot of the reception of kickoffs and the recuperation of the ball, and with that we start to have more ball and more and using that better, which make us being able to be better.
Okay, Jakob, now a question more fun or more hard if you want to. Who is a vital player in a German team that you need to have on the pitch to get, well, a better chance of winning?
Or on the bench.
Oh, no, on the pitch, sorry.
It's hard to say because almost like in every sport, in German sport, like German athletes are not very individual athletes. Like, I don't know, an example, like coming from football, maybe we don't have a Neymar. And I think like as well as in rugby, so we are not really individual players. So we work together as a team. And if we play as a team, we succeed as a team. So, and if you dance out of the line, it doesn't work. So every player in that 13-man squad is vital, has it's his own role that he needs to play. And so it's hard to say who's the best or the most important player, like in German sports at least. You have the forwards, they get the get-go because of the physicality of the playmakers. You have the centers and the wings as well. So can't really give you an answer because work as a team and succeed as a team.
Then I ask you another one: who's the most funny and better player between the Glites brothers?
Oh, oh, you're gonna get me in trouble in that one if they hear.
Well, I'm not training with them, so it's you going to get tackled by one of them. So,
who the funnier one is?
Yeah, the funnier one. You can start with the funnier one.
I'd say Anton because they're like this, a bit like the same, but I'd say Anton. But they're both annoying because they always have to argue about like stupid stuff. Like it's like, yeah.
That's important to have because it can change a more a mood and make things more light. So that's good to know. I'll come back to you with 2 more questions. Nick, you have 2 siblings in your team, the Rizzi brothers. So who's the best player of them and the one that you would like to tackle in the training if you had a chance?
Yes, Rizzi brothers are Croatians from Argentina-based Croatians. They're a bit tiny guys, but very fast guys. So I think the younger one, Francisco, is quicker than Domingo, but they are quick and clever. So if I want to tackle them, I can make it because they are too quick for me.
And tell me, what would be a word to define your team, the Croatian team?
Word to define.
Yes, if you could.
Adventurers.
Oh, that's a very good word. Okay, adventurers.
Yeah.
Let's hope that you continue your adventure in the championship series. Vasco, going back, you already said you play one of the oldest players in the series, Duarte Moreira, who has been here for a long time. So how is it to play next to one of the oldies of the competition?
It's really good. Duarte is really a nice guy, very funny, and as because he already was on the series, World Series, and knows a lot, so he really help us the youngers, and it's really good.
What would be one of the players that you would like to avoid tackling in training of the Sevens Portuguese team?
Probably Duarte. Sometimes really intense. Even when we just playing touch, he's also like for the physicality, and sometimes it's better to avoid.
Now, next question for you, Vasco. Care to give a compliment to Nick and Jakob as individual players?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Can you give a compliment to Jakob and Nick as players?
A compliment like like
Who's
what?
you?
Yes, no, yes. Uh, what can you explain more, please?
Well, a compliment, a good thing about them. So say one good thing about them.
Oh, so Jakob is like the quicker guy of the German team. He's really fast, and probably Nick, very, very strong man, and that I will be careful when playing against him.
Yeah, you have to be because you're going to play him. Jakob, a nice thing to say about your rivals, Vasco and Nick.
About Nick, I didn't really know that rugby was a thing in Croatia, and I was surprised when I looked at the pools and the boys told me, yeah, Ukraine and Croatia got promoted, and I didn't really think much of it. And then when we saw you play in your first game against Ireland, I think was the first game, I was really impressed because you held the ball for a couple of minutes against the Irish, and the Irish had a really good team with really good experienced players. They also play on the World Series, and it impressed me how you held that ball and put your physicality there. I was really positively surprised on that one. And yeah, another positive thing. Portuguese. It's always I don't like to play against the Portuguese because like last year we had quite some trouble. It's like always. Even under 18s, they were like the team I didn't want to play the most because they was offload and they were so fast on the feet, and you tackled one, got up, and then they were again on you. So I think, really, yeah. I wouldn't call it. It's hard to say because I don't like to play against Portugal. I don't think if that's a compliment in general because it's just like hard to play against them, and maybe it's just a mental thing. But yeah, I'm happy that I didn't have to play against Portugal this year in the Challenger and the Euros again. But we have to see how the tournament goes.
Because you can still play against them in a knockout stage. Would be very interesting thing to watch. Nick, a compliment to give to these two young guns from the Portuguese and German team.
Yes, the crucial word was young because I played probably against their coaches 15 years ago. So, yes, your team trashed us in Makarska. It was really, really, really. Probably your coach was very, very proud, and you gave us a really good lesson. So just carry on with a tempo and good restarts that you perform against us, and I hope you will have another good result in Hamburg. So just carry on like you played against us, guys. No worries about that. And Vasco, I played against your coach like maybe 10, 12 years ago, and I got thrashed against Portuguese back then when Portugal used to play World Series and everything, and Portugal was very well-known sevens team. Back then when 15s were not so big in Portugal. Portuguese were always fast guys, always skillful and fast guys, and they knew always how to play sevens. And I saw in Makarska that you have a very young team, and I wish you all the best, guys, and have a cracker one in Hamburg.
Cool. To finish things off, Vasco, the hardest thing to do in a sevens arena and the easiest thing to do.
I think the hardest thing to do is play the last minute of the game. That is when you are completely tired and you still have to do the last tackle, do the last run, do the last support, and it's very difficult but very important to have that awareness that you have to keep it, because you can lose all in the last minute. And
The easiest, no, the funnest. Sorry, the funnest thing to do in the sevens.
score a good try is also funny when the crowd cheers when you do or a step or a good line. It's always good.
Jakob, what's the hardest and the funnest?
The hardest thing to do, probably defending set plays or set pieces, like from a scrum or from a line out when you're one man down, like when you have a yellow card or red card. We had that in Munich against Kenya in the quarterfinals, I think, and that was probably just by one half, but that was probably the hardest game of sevens I've ever played, and that's not fun at all. Playing one and try to defend like almost half of a pitch. And the most fun part for me would be broken field, like open play, when like the defense isn't set and when you broke the line and just do stuff, play with the defender, and yeah, that's probably for me the most fun thing about it.
Nick, your turn.
I would go with Vasco's one, having the cracker one in the last minutes of sevens just to survive and retain the ball, the possession and everything. That's the hardest thing. And what's the funniest? The funniest thing for myself would be when I found myself out on the winger somehow against some young guy like Vasco or Jakob. Then you can see how nervous am I and how to defend against them. And second thing is because I'm old, sometimes I play against guys who are 18 years younger than me. And so guys are teasing me and telling always you're trying to sell the same tricks and jokes on the field for the last 10 years. You're boring.
Well, but boring get wins, and that's important. So, guys, thank you for coming to the Stars in Scrum. I wish you good luck this weekend. We're gonna have a blast, and let's see who gets crowned to be the champions. Ireland won in Makarska. Now we'll see if Germany has or Portugal enough in the tank to go to the final, and see if Croatia can stay in the main division of the Rugby Europe's 7 series. Thank you, guys. Say goodbye to the people at home, and see you in Hamburg. You can all watch them in the Rugby Europe TV, so don't miss out the fun of the Sevens arena. Thank you, and see you next time.
See you in